Hello, how's everyone doing? My name is Luke and welcome to Geometry Dash. Before we start this video, I'm going to show you guys a clip from my Bloodbath completion some time ago. And I still feel like that, not as in I'm going to quit the game, but as in I have no motivation right now to beat anything harder than Bloodbath. I want Bloodbath to be my hardest demon for a long time. Well, on June 25th, 2026, exactly 1 month after that video was uploaded, and I uploaded that video the same day I beat Bloodbath, so I beat Bloodbath on May 25th. On June 25th, I beat something harder. So I said I wanted Bloodbath to be my hardest demon for a long time, and it only made it a month as my hardest demon. And I think the reason that I was able to beat something quickly and that I just decided to move on from Bloodbath is because I found a level that I really like. Blade of Justice, in my opinion, is an example of a perfect extreme demon. And the reason it's perfect isn't because of everything that's good, everything is really good, but it's also because of the fact that there's nothing in this level that's bad. From start to finish, from 0 to 100, this level is fun to play. There's nothing in it that's too unbalanced, there's no bugs, there's no major choke points. Instead, every bit of the level is kind of a steady choke point, so you have to be locked in the whole time. The difficulty is consistent, the level flows well, the decoration is nice, and it's a perfect step up from a level like Bloodbath being almost 100 spots higher on the all-rated demons list. I know I just beat Bloodbath, which is probably the most famous Geometry Dash level of all time, but Blade of Justice is also a pretty well-known level, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit through the history of this level. So Blade of Justice is a sequel to the level A Bizarre Phantasm, which is a 2.0 Extreme Demon collab by members of Team N2. If you don't know A Bizarre Phantasm, it's a demon that has a very similar song to Blade of Justice, and at the end of the level there's columns of keys, and within each column of keys there's 3 keys, and you have to remember which key to get. And you basically have to go through columns and columns of keys as the wave, and get the right keys throughout that section in order to pass the end of the level. This level was meant to be a sequel to that level. This level specifically, it's made by Manic648, LazxerBlitz, and Knobbelboy. That was originally meant to be, I believe, harder than Bloodlust at the time. Verified in 2017, in July, early in 2.1. Around the time that level is like the RGB trilogy, so Yatagarasu, Erebus, and Sonic Wave were the hardest levels in the game. And this, in its original state, would have been harder than those levels, but this level went through a lot during the verification process. It was verified, or at least attempted verified, by many different famous players within the community at the time, so Trusta and Sunix, just to name a couple. Eventually, the people wanted to get the level out quicker, so it was nerfed and verified by someone named Rico LP, and when it was first placed in 2017, I believe it was just within the top 25 on the demons list at the time, so just a bit above where Bloodbath was, and that's still kind of where it is. The only problem is now that's, 698 instead of number 23. Alright, with that, there's not much else I can really say about the level, so I'm going to take you guys through a practice run and talk about each of the parts, and I'll show you guys my worst fail, which was 92%, and then I'll show you the completion to end the video off. So here we go. Alright, so we're going to start with this robot here. This robot is tough. The good thing is that it's at the beginning, so you can get kind of consistent with it, because you need to play it every attempt, but if I had to pick a spot in the level that might genuinely be the hardest, it might be this part. As you can see, I can't do it right now, and all I did was take a day off. I'm also trying to commentate at the same time, so it's tough, but let's go ahead and get through it. There we go. Okay, then you get to this ship. This ship is alright. This part going down here is pretty tough, but other than that, you can get pretty consistent with it. And then after that, you've done the beginning of the level. So then you get into kind of some of the tougher stuff. I say that the whole level's tough, but this wave here is pretty annoying, and it takes some time to get consistent with because there's a lot of inputs, but you have more room than you think you do. There we go. Alright, then you get to this ship. This ship is not bad except for the end of it right here that I'm about to show you. This end here where you're this upside down ship is difficult. And to show you guys why, so it's pretty much straight fly the whole time up until you get there. Oh boy, let me just get back there. Okay, it's pretty much straight fly the whole time, and then you have kind of that bendy straight fly as normal gravity, and then you go upside down, you do the same thing, but then you have this section where you have to swoop back down. as the upside down ship, and then you have to have an upward trajectory into the next ball portal. Let me show you what I mean. So you have to go down and you have to go up like that while going into the portal. You see what I mean? So let me show you what happens if you don't do that, right? Because this is a big choke point for me, especially with figure fatigue. You do that right there. You go too low in that portal, you don't have a nice like kind of upward trajectory into it, you're not going to land on the ball platform. And that killed me quite a bit. And it's tough to do, because it essentially means you have less room than the level is actually giving you to do it. This ball is not too bad. It's just a click pattern. I died here a few times, but overall, not too bad. No, boy, I say that and I can't do it. But there. Just like that. And then this UFO, okay, if I had to pick a part of the level that I think is easy, I would put this UFO. I think I died here once in normal mode the entire time. It's just a click pattern, boom, 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 boom. And then you get to this wave. This wave looks really challenging, but surprisingly, I only died here a few times. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting better at the wave, but the hitboxes here, they look tight, but for some reason, I can just do it. You know what I mean? Like that, right? There's no gimmicks there, nothing that you have to learn. You just get used to the click pattern and the timings, and you can do it. Now, this ship here, on the other hand, this ship is tough, because dual gravity, the quarters are not tight at all, but the dual gravity, kind of like when you're playing like that ship about 2/3 of the way through Cataclysm, is tough, except it's even tougher as the mini ship. So I died here quite a bit, especially when I was playing for a while and my hands were fatigued, right? And you get to this cube. So I died here a fair amount. I think I died here maybe 5 times before I actually passed it for the first time. But once I got through it for the first time, I was able to get through it relatively consistently in normal mode. Just gotta get used to these timings. Nothing too difficult. No like frame perfects or anything like that. I don't think this level has anything like that. It's just consistently hard. And then you get to here and you're halfway through the level. So I would always take a deep breath when I got to this spot. And you get to the duel. The duel is interesting because I would say it's one of the harder parts of the level, but it can get pretty consistent. What's really tricky about it is the beginning here. So what you want to do is at the beginning here, you're only going to watch the ship. Only watch the ship. So I'm going to watch the ship. It's going to go down the bottom, and there's going to be a straight fly section. In this straight fly section, you want to go lower than you think you do at the start, because otherwise you're going to click too soon as the ball and die. And I'll show you what I mean. If I click too soon like this, you can do that. Or if I do it like this, you're going to click too soon and you're going to hit this spike at the bottom here as the ball. So instead what you want to do is you want to wait and then do 2 more clicks as the ball. Like, not like that. There. And then in that top straight fly, you want to do 3 clicks so that your ball can do these inputs here at the bottom. And you just get used to that rhythm. And the whole time you're doing that, though, you're actually looking at the ship. And then you're going to get here, do 2 inputs fast, right? Boom, boom, right? And you're going to hold. Watch the ship at the bottom now. You're going to hold. And you're going to hold until you get to this reverse portal at the top. So boom, boom. And then here, you can let go while your cube is going in here. And then you can just straight fly as both ships, top and bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. And then you got to hit that orb. Not too hard to time. And then the rest of it is kind of just timings. The rest of it's not too bad. So I think it's like 1, 2, 3. This last timing here, you're going to want to watch the ship because you have to time this release here pretty tightly. I do know there is like a slight skip here where you can go up here as the ship. I tried it. I found it harder to do than the actual level. And this got somewhat consistent here at the bottom. But definitely a tricky spot here, this release. And then you have this wave coming up. So this wave is not too bad. I mean, I died here a few times in normal mode. I died here as part of like this. My first time getting to the duel, I actually died in the wave here, not the duel. It's just skill. That's it. You just gotta practice the clicks, and you'll get used to it. It's somewhat tight, but it's not too bad. It's about consistent with the difficulty of the rest of the level. Now you're gonna get here. This input right here at 58%. Well, specifically this, and then this blue and this green orb. It says take a break, but this is not a break point in the level at all. This spot is tough. Okay, you have to time these jumps. You have to hit that blue orb so late so that you don't hit the spikes right above it, right? Because if you click too early, you're just going to hit that. You can also time the blue orb well and hit that green orb too early, right? That's tough. That can happen. You can also try to do it too late and go up like that, trying to hit the green orb late, right? So you can mess this up in a variety of ways. And I died here a few times. It's tough. But what it should look like is this. Nope, not like that. You see, I can't do it. Oh, and you also have to jump off that first platform before the blue orb pretty late, right? But you're going to get up here. Make sure you don't hit these orbs too early, right? Or you could go down and die. That ship, you're just holding and then clicking on the orbs, and then as you hit a portal, you're switching. And then you get to the UFO. So I would always take a deep breath before this UFO. And this is when the nerfs start to kick in, because this UFO section is long. It is difficult. I died here a lot, but it should get consistent. But at this point in the level, you probably have a lot of nerves, and you're going to make mistakes. There's no gimmicks. There's nothing too hard to learn. I'm going to try to take you guys through this whole UFO and show you my click pattern for how I do it. And then we'll just see what happens. So let's see. Alright, need to do this ship. This ship's easy. I never died here. But my advice is some of those green orbs, especially in this UFO, you can either do 2 quick taps and hit the orb early, or you can wait and just hit it once and go higher. I would just find what works for you. This is the click pattern that worked for me. So if you guys want to slow it down, look at it, do whatever. But that's the end of the UFO. And then you get to the end of the level, and you start with this swing copter here. This swing copter, so I am not good at the swing copter at all. The hardest swing copter I'd ever done was probably the one in Ultrasonic before this, which is a lot easier than this because these are like extreme demon corridors you have in here. It took me probably 3,000 attempts of learning just to do this swing copter for the first time. And then it took another little while just to get consistent with it. So my first run of 75 to 100 took like at least 3,000 attempts, and then it took me another 500 to do it again just because of this swing copter. Eventually, with enough practice, I was able to get pretty consistent with this swing copter, and I can tell you guys my click pattern just as I get through it, but it's going to look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Boom. Just like that. There is this invisible jump pad. I hit it that attempt, but sometimes you won't hit it. I find just timing your last click right after that is going to make it so that it doesn't matter whether you hit it or not. I feel like that was added in there to nerf the level, and it actually works. Then you get to the rest of the level here. So it starts with this tight wave. This wave is not too bad. I mean, I don't think I ever died. Actually, I did die once in this wave, but it's not too bad. One thing I will say, though, is on this last section here, you have to make sure you go up in this ship portal early, or else you'll hit this last hitbox on the way up here. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Like that. So you have to make sure you go up early there. I mean, other than that, it's not too bad. There, straight fly, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get to another wave section. This one is somewhat hard. I died there twice. This ball section, hit a couple of those blue orbs late, go up. And then this last ship, I actually only died at the beginning of this last ship. I didn't die here. But on this last section, you're going to want to make sure you hit that yellow orb that I just did early. And then you get to the end of the level. Last ship is not too challenging. And that's it. That's Blade of Justice all the way through. So I'm going to show you guys my worst fail and then my completion. So enjoy the video. Yes! 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 Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for Blade of Justice. Blade of Justice and Bloodbath, my two hardest demons, both start with BL, so who knows, maybe I'll have to go for Black Blizzard next. But that would be quite a step up from this. But this video is about Blade of Justice, and overall Blade of Justice is a perfect level through and through. The gameplay is awesome. I love the end of the level with all the fast transitions and the high-speed maneuvers. Really difficult stress tests, and overall I had a great time with this level. It took just under 11,000 attempts, which for a new hardest is not bad. But all I'm going to say is I love the level. I'm glad I beat it. As a jump up from Bloodbath, you know, I wasn't expecting to beat something harder than Bloodbath. And here we are a month later having done that, so who knows what'll come next. But that's going to be it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.